As bad as the Atlanta Braves are, if you're looking for something to take your mind off, football is back. Preseason week 1 has begun. I think it started yesterday. The Falcons preseason opener today against the Dolphins. We're going to see Michael Penix, probably the most exciting thing Atlanta has had since I don't know when, because they like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones were fun, but that wasn't necessarily exciting at the tail ends of their careers. So the most exciting.
I'm saying 08.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan rookie
maybe
year.
Julio Jones when we drafted Julio Jones in 2000. What was that? 12 or ahead of the 2012 season. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's been that long since we've had something that exciting, and we're going to get a first glimpse. And frankly, this is probably going to be the only time we see Penix this year. So it's kind of like a season
if everything works out.
Yeah, and listen, this is I do want to say, I'm interested to see how much he plays, because they cut the preseason, right? It's only 3 games now. So, and that third game is really what you got in the fourth game, which was pretty much all backups, and guys that are competing for roster spots playing. Mm-hmm. So you really only have 2 games where you're going to get your main guys in. So I think we could get a good chunk, maybe a whole entire half out of Penix. We'll see.
Yeah, this is the most valuable time for Michael Penix, because even when if Michael Penix gets some time in the regular season, and in the situation I'm foreseeing, it'll be garbage time where the defense really just doesn't give an F. And the preseason, though the guys aren't good, per se, in terms of starters, they care. And they are fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for their NFL lives, which is completely different than a fourth quarter in week 17 where the Falcons have already won the game, vice versa. Or, a post where the Falcons have locked up the NFC South, and that would be an important game. This is valuable reps for Michael Penix. And if I'm the coach, he is playing every single snap. We probably won't see much of the first team offensive line until maybe game 2. He should take every single rep, every single snap with the first team offensive line and the second team offensive line. As soon as one of those second team offensive linemen hits the bench, Michael Penix should be out. And that's more than anything just a health thing. You don't want Michael Penix behind a shoddy offensive line where he's going to be taking a bunch of hits, but you want him to get as much experience as humanly possible, because you don't know, what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins. You want him to be at least a little bit ready, seeing bullets fly and everything like that in a live action game. I'm so excited. I couldn't be, more excited. I'm even thinking about cracking a beer or something for this game. It feels almost like
don't lie to the audience.
A regular season game. Does it not feel like a regular?
You have an alcoholic beverage in the game when Michael Penix takes his first snap.
It's a lot.
That's minus 1,000.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'll be cracking a cold one.
I mean, it's a Friday.
It feels like a regular season game.
No, it does. It's a different level of excitement. Yes. Normally a preseason game on a Friday night, I'm like, I have a little bit of Friday plans. I'm not really too worried. When that game starts, I will be somewhere watching the game. And yes, I will also have a beverage in my hand. So there is no doubt about it. I'm excited. It feels like week 1 a little bit before that, and I think that's something. But what about the other aspects? I think we talked a lot about the defensive side of the ball this week, and I think that's where going to be focused, because that's where most of your position battles, whether you're talking about the first string and the linebacking core, which we saw Nate Lamb and Troy Anderson, whether you're talking about the secondary, Richie Grant, DeMarco Hellams, Clark Phillips, D. Alford, Mike Hughes, a lot. I think that's going to be the focus. So it's going to be Michael Penix on the offense that we're all just going to be glazing, hopefully glazing, right? Hopefully we're like, wow, look at that. And then it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. There's all position battles all over, whether it's the defensive line. I mean, who the hell is going to step up? It's all over.
Yeah, I think the only starters that'll probably play tonight, and we don't know anything at the time of this recording. We don't know who's going to play whatsoever. I think every single starter on the offensive side of the ball is probably not going to play. But I think most of the defense.
I do wonder though, because if you look,
I would say game 2. I would say
Bills are playing Josh Allen.
Game 2 is when the starting offense, other than Kirk Cousins, will go out there. I think game 2 is when we will see Michael Penix with everybody out there, unless they have some sort of nick, scratch, whatever, it is, maybe Drake London nicked ankle or something. But if they're healthy, I think game 2 we'll see Michael Penix with the first team. But I think, we're going to see Mike Hughes. I think we're going to see D. Alford, Clark Phillips, Richie Grant, DeMarco Hellams. I mean, Richie Grant has done absolutely nothing across his 3 years to just be like, okay,
well, that's like
strap it up.
That's like saying Desmond Ridder, last year.
Exactly.
Richie Grant should be out there playing today. I think defensively you should see everything. I think offensively, this is kind of the way I look at it offensively. I think you're going to see, because they want to see Penix, And I think the biggest thing during these preseason games is the offensive line kind of getting that, getting those reps. I think those are important. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the first team Falcons offensive line,
maybe a series.
Michael Penix. I wouldn't be surprised to see him a little more than that. And then but you don't have Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and all those guys. They can put them in bubble wrap. They don't need to play. Right?
That's fair.
You can go see the second string wide receivers and stuff.
Casey Washington should be interesting to watch.
Yeah. But I think, put the offensive line in, let them get those reps because those are important. Michael Penix gets his reps, and then let the, second team receivers and stuff get their reps. I imagine it's going to be a lot of that this preseason. And then defensively, I mean, I'm with you. I think defensively it should be a free. I wouldn't mind seeing the entire starting defense. Who cares?
Everybody, Jesse Bates, Caden Ellis, AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, and David Onyemata are about the only guys that I'm like, don't put them out there. Those are the only guys. Lorenzo Carter, Zach Harrison, everybody else. Literally everybody else could be out there, and I'm like,
they're not even starters. So we're not even really talking about a starting defense. We're talking about
rotational,
actual legitimate battles. Pretty much outside of those 5 guys, everything else is pretty much a battle. So we should be seeing them battle it out. And frankly, I'm always of the thing, you can't be so passive. Unless you got real stars that what are going to do it, you got to let them go out there. If a guy gets hurt, they get hurt. It's football. You're going to play 17 weeks where guys are going to be going much harder than they are in the preseason. And the injuries you can't just foresee them.
Yeah, some are complete. Kirk Cousins shouldn't see the field. He shouldn't even touch his shoulder pads. He should be in a clipboard and street clothes.
He shouldn't even be in the stadium. He should be in the booth.
You never know. They come to the sideline. Kirk moves. I agree. Wrap him in bubble wrap, and then
be in the booth calling plays with Zach Robinson.
Just listening,
with a headset in his ear. Right.
Same with Grady. Grady doesn't need to be anywhere near the field, and I doubt he's even going to be suited up.
He needs to be getting a knee massage in the back for the whole person. Hey, but really exciting stuff for guys who don't want to watch the Braves game, and I understand. Hey, we got some Falcons football and Michael Penix.